Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. Up and at 'em, guys. Today is Monday, the 23rd of December. Now you're 2 days away from Christmas. Actually, you only got one day left if you haven't got everything you need. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, it's going to be kind of a hodgepodge, right? About how important family is, spending time with them. I want to touch base because these guys are hilarious on these Facebook groups, and maybe a little bit of business in there, but I'm gonna keep it kind of light going into Christmas because I thought yesterday was pretty strong when it came to why people don't succeed at business. And I thought after Christmas we pick it up and then start a brand new year, New Year's, with a better theme and more people involved. I see that the subscriber count is up to 3,800. I want to thank everyone that subscribed, and we'll keep going and keep growing. And the more people we have on board, it can only get better, right? All right, so stay tuned. Alrighty, so welcome back to the channel. If you didn't already know it, my name is Eric, and yes, this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Monday, the 23rd of December 2024. We're almost to the end of the year, too, guys, girls. And what is your New Year's resolution going to be this year? And I'm not saying, lose weight, get healthier. What are your shop? If you're running a shop or you're doing a small engine repair in your own do-it-yourself, or what are some of the things that you hope to pick up in the following year? And I'd like to know that mainly because if I can help you succeed, I definitely will. And if I can do a video that might highlight what you're trying to do and make it more understandable or from a different point of view, I'd like to be able to do that because I would like to be able to help each and every one of you on the channel. So we're starting off today as I had a chance to get together with my family yesterday. And I can remember when I was my son and daughter's age. We did this trying to do everybody on Christmas Day. And it was a cluster, you know what. And especially if there were big meals. That was the worst. If you go to the first one, and that's your grandmother, and you don't eat a lot of food, she's offended because the food is her love. It's kind of like, why aren't you eating seconds? Well, it's because the other side of her family, and now I got to go there, and they're having a dinner. And if I don't eat much her mother's meal, then I'm offending her. Because you see where I'm going with this? So my grandfather stepped in. We always called him the judge anyways. He was 6'4". Quiet man, but if you pissed him off, he'd let you know it. But he made the command decision. Look. He looked at Graham and said, look, these kids are trying to eat all these meals on the same day to appease all of us. Why don't we do this? We don't need to have our Thanksgiving, Christmas dinner on Thanksgiving and Christmas. We can do it in between. And Christmas, if you want to, we can do after the first of the year so that you get a chance to spend time to home with the kids on Christmas Day and not feel obligated to try to eat all these meals and fall over into a coma. So I've kind of followed that same pattern of we don't need to do it on the same day as the holiday. We can do it any day of the week. It's all about getting together. If we had yesterday, we ordered in pizza and wings, and we had sodas and juice boxes, and we had a great time. I had a great time with my family, and everybody there is my family, you know. And the grandkids, they were just enjoying themselves, opening up their gifts, and you know, it's one of those things that when I was sitting there, I was thinking, I almost didn't make it to here. And that's a scary thought. That what would it look like if I wasn't there? But the key thing is I was there. I did survive. And I got a chance to celebrate Christmas with the kids. But I had to kind of laugh because this morning when I'm going through Facebook real quick, I noticed that my son and daughter-in-law went to another Christmas get-together after they left our place or down to their mom's. We had it down there at her house. You know, I'm like, but I'll tell you, you know, that one thing I will say is my daughter-in-law, she's like the other daughter, Kirsten and Aaron. They are two of the greatest mama bears you will ever meet. Their kids thrive because of them. And they're being taught the right way. And I even question at times, and I'll send her a text or a message. How do you do it? How do you keep everything together and all the things going on? I can't even get through a day and I just have to worry about this guy, not two other kids, you know? But what do they say? That's part of being young, I guess. But no, the Christmas celebration was good. And then I drove down there, and it was about, was it 6 miles, 7 miles? But I had to promise my sister-in-law that I would text her when I left the house and text her when I showed up down to the kids' mom's house that we were having the dinner at. And then text her when I got back so she wasn't worried that something could have taken place between point A and point B. And I mean, it's understandable because I worry about those things. But I also knew that both of my kids knew I was going to be there. And if I didn't show up, they both come looking for me. You know, whether it be here at the house or between here and there. So I wasn't concerned. And when I say we had it at their mom's, let me speak right up right now. That would be my ex-wife. And all I could ever ask is that she's happy. And she's remarried, and Sean makes her very happy. And Robin and Sean are as much my family as anybody else. You know, I care about all of them. It's a dynamic thing, but it is what it is. And I care about them as well as everybody else. But I had a chance yesterday to get on these Facebook groups. And this one guy is saying, you know, he's tried everything, but he still can't get this lawnmower to run. And I said, did you do a compression test on it? And he said, no. And I said, well, once you do a compression test, you may find that it's not worth fixing. And an engine swap or what have you may be in order. Well, he come back and said that it didn't matter what it was worth fixing. So I made the mistake of saying, look, I run a shop. We deal with this on a daily basis of saying yay or nay. If we don't have compression and the valves are not out of adjustment, then it's internal. And I need to be talking to that customer about what they want to do. And just the man hours of tearing that engine apart. And then the parts, if you can get them and put it back together, sometimes exceeds what the owner wants to put into that lawnmower, that rider, right? Then I got a barrage of different ones. One guy saying, I don't care if you run a shop. When I have a customer come and drop something off, I just go ahead and fix it no matter what the cost is and tell the customer this is what it is. I'm like, you're not going to last long. But I stop all conversation right there because if you're dealing with an idiot, someone that's not so intelligent, that doesn't have the experience, why waste your breath? So I stopped. And there were quite a few others chiming in about it didn't matter what it was worth fixing. Especially if you're counting your own time. Well, yeah, to a certain point. I mean, for what? Like, go to Harbor Freight, get their Predator engines and get a warranty on them. Throw them on, be done. Are they cheaper engines? Absolutely. Never said they weren't. But sometimes they're the cheapest way out. And if that's what the customer wants, that's what I give the customer. But the idea that I'm just going to go ahead and fix it no matter what the cost is and pass it on to my customer, I'd be out of business by now. And those people I know are not running a shop because they'd be out of business. You know, some of them were going on about how they charged over $100 an hour. And I'm thinking, with what little you know about small engine repair, you should not be charging $100 an hour. You should be watching my video on don't learn on the backs of your customers. But that's part of the problem that I see is that there's so much information out there and so many people trying to tell you what is the right way and that are clueless. To me, it's like me telling you what it's like to have a baby. Seriously. In these groups, some of these people have no clue. And if you're here on the channel, hopefully it's because you want to learn the right way. And my way isn't always the right way. And I've got people, valuable people like Jason, Amos, Travis, Peter, the list goes on, that will call me out if something doesn't pass the sniff test. And I greatly appreciate that. Because, see, I've been doing this a long time. I've been in business even longer, self-employed. If you go back to my farming days, I'm very independent, okay? But I also am still learning. And I understand that there's more than one way to skin a cat. My way isn't always the easiest way. And on those times, Jason is probably the biggest one. Yes, you, Jason, which I appreciate very much, that you will call me out and this is your way of doing it and this is the cheaper way. I wouldn't have started doing compression tests in the back of vehicles instead of wasting my time. I wouldn't have bought an ultrasonic cleaner that I can just throw the carburetor in there in a jar or a Ziploc bag with what I want for cleaning agents and throw it in for a while. You've taught me a lot. Amos has taught me a lot. Travis, You kicked me in the ass when I needed it. Peter, Steve, I mean, the list goes on. Randy, you guys have been very valuable and very instrumental in shaping the way this channel is. And I've always said, this channel isn't about me. It truly isn't. I may be the guy behind the microphone, but this is not my channel per se. This is more about you than it is about me. I try to be that instrument. I try to be that person, that teacher that tries to show you and tell you from experience, my experiences, what being in this small engine repair business since '06. And I've seen the highs and the lows. And I've seen where we've tackled stuff and there was an easier way to do it. And I still find today, when I take on a subject of maybe something we've done in the shop, that Jason or Amos will offer an easier way of doing it. And I just sit back in awe and say, why didn't we do it this way? Because we didn't know. Because they have encountered it more often probably than we have. And they've figured out this is the easiest way to go about it. And what happens then? My shop changes because now I've been given, from a teacher to a student, an easier way of doing things that is probably quicker and less expensive and is saving my customer money. And most shops will say, well, it's not about saving the customer money. Bullcrap, it's not. If you're not trying to save your customers some money, you're not going to last long. Not unless you have people standing in line 100 deep. Because I'll tell you right now, if you're not keeping your customer in the loop, and keeping your customer is trying to save them money, and I'm telling you right now, you will lose that customer. And not only will you lose that customer is going to tell everybody they can about how bad you are. And they're going to run to Google and do a review on you. And, I mean, the list goes on. If you're narcissistic, you probably don't give a rat's ass. But I'm not. I value each and every customer I have. And I know I wouldn't be in business if it wasn't for them. So being honest with my customer and trying to save them money where I can absolutely is top of my thought process. I want that customer to come back. I want that customer to leave feeling that I took care of them and minimized the cost. Or we decided not even to go that way. But you know what? They're also going to tell everybody how well I treated them. And some of my best advertising is my customers. Telling other people when someone mentions at a party or a gathering, I'm having problems with my lawnmower. And one of my customers speaks up and says, you got to get that Eric and Claude. They'll take care of it. They'll take care of you, and they'll do it reasonable. I'm not saying cheap. Don't cheapen it. But a reasonable price. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. But to close this out, and I'm going to be talking the same thing until the first of the year. What are topics that you would like to have us go into in the new year? Because, I can talk nonstop for hours about crap, in general. But if there's something that is stumping you or something that, you're having problems with and you're looking for some advice And that's all I do. I give advice, right? I'll never tell you what to do. I'll advise you, take what you can use and leave the rest, right? But if it's something that we can do as a topic, and the best thing is you guys chiming in that have shops that there may be better ways, but it gets it out where we're all talking about it. And the more people that are talking about it, I think gives you a better answer to what you may be facing. All right. So if you're not in the festive mood, get in the festive mood. Christmas is coming up. You know, as far as I know right now, Claude, will be working on his side by side tires, putting his new tires on for Christmas. But you see, my Christmas was yesterday. It was yesterday with my family. And the only thing I have going on Christmas Day is helping Claude because he did Christmas on Saturday with his tribe. So we both don't have any plans for Christmas. So we're going to be swapping the ATV tires. I'm there for moral support. And I bought a 2-rib prime rib. And yes, it was on sale. Actually, it was $6.49 a pound. So I decided to splurge, right? But still, it's not cheap. It was like $26, $27. And I'm trying to decide, maybe you guys can help me out. Do I slice it and do one bone and do it like a steak and get 2 nice meals out of it? Or do I roast it as a rib roast, have my one meal, and then I would have leftovers that I would warm up? But I'm trying to decide that, whether to do it as a rib roast. And something tells me, Jason, you're a cook too. And you too, Amos, when it comes to barbecue and all that. But I'm trying to figure out which direction to go on that, right? But Christmas is about spending time with family. It's not what you receive. If you can try and check around in your neighborhood, and this time of year is rough on a lot of older people that maybe their family isn't close and they have no plans and they dread Christmas. Maybe you can invite them to your table for a meal, or take a hot plate down and drop it off with them. And I know from experience, plan on spending an hour or two because you're going to listen to some of their stories and you're going to make someone else's Christmas fantastic. So on that note, you guys have a great day. Today is Monday. I'm not sure if any of you guys are working. We are. Probably going to take a couple days off. I used to take it off right straight through to the first of the year. But that's when the business was doing very well. We're not going to be working that hard. We're working half days as it is. I'll kind of talk it out with Claude and see what he wants to do. And we'll go from there. And then lastly, before I forget, some of you guys have mentioned this in the past. I don't know if you have any thoughts on it or interest in it, but I went ahead and I had new sweatshirts made for the business, and it can also be on t-shirts. And we're looking at a design for a hat. If there's any interest out there about a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, or a hat, let me know. I can tell you right now, the sweatshirts are going to be around $49, and then figure shipping in. T-shirts, I think, are probably right around 12 or 13. And the hats, I haven't got them designed yet, so I don't know what they're going to cost. But these here are silk screened, where these it's not embroidered, nothing like that. And like mine, I got my name on it below Northern New York Parts, and Claude's got his name on it. And the guy that does our hats, t-shirts, and sweatshirts, hoodies, said that he had no problem putting your name on it if you were interested. If you're not interested, that's fine. But I just thought I'd throw it out there and let you guys decide. All right, guys, have a great day.